Welcome to another beautiful day in the land of music. My name is Douglas, and in today's video, I'm going to be updating my Nord Stage 4 to version 1.54, which is the latest at the time of making this video. And I'm actually a few versions behind on my Stage 4. And one of the reasons I want to make this video is because Nord has added the ability to morph parameters to our left and middle pedals. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos on the triple pedal, you'll have heard me mention that the hardware supports continuous sensors on all three pedals. So the hardware of the triple pedal 2 can support it, but at the time, only the right supported continuous sensors. So you could do things like the half damper, and it would read some of that stuff, like how hard you were hitting it for the pedal noise. And the hardware could support it on the middle and left, but the software in the Nord Stage 4 did not. So they added that. I actually think it was a part of like 1.52. And then there were a couple of little bugs they fixed in 5.4. So we're just going to update to the latest. There's going to be a couple parts to this video. I'll put timestamps below. But the first thing we're going to do, if you need a refresher, we're going to update the Stage 4. I'm going to show you how to do that in two different ways. Then I'm going to walk you through some of the changes, fixes, and things like that that are in these latest couple of updates. And then we're going to try out the triple pedal 2 morphing using maybe one of the sounds from my sound packs where I already have it morphed to the control pedal. We'll try using the triple pedal left and middle. I'll show you those settings here on the Nord Stage 4. So let's jump right into it. I'm going to turn on the Nord Stage 4, and I have a triple pedal 2 plugged into my Nord. We'll take a look at a couple of things here in the menu. But first, I'm going to show you how to find out what version your Nord Stage 4 is on. So in the menu, we're going to hold Shift and then tap on the number 1 program button, which is going to go to our system menu. Now we can use the back and forth buttons underneath our encoder to move pages. So go all the way to page 6, and you'll see OS version 1.30. So again, I'm a couple behind on this, but the other thing that we can do is if you exit by just tapping on Shift, hold Shift and go into pedal, and then move over to page 4. This is the triple pedal function. So there's 3 little diagrams here on the screen representing the 3 pedals that we have, right, middle, and left. Now on the screen, when I depress the right pedal, you'll notice the continuous sensor shows a representation of that on the screen. But when I do the middle and the left, you'll see it's just doing an on-off or a momentary switch. That's what has changed. So we're going to come back and look at that after we do the update. Now, in order to update your Nord Stage 4, you're going to need a USB cable. So I have one right here. It's got the A and the B ends. And so plug the appropriate end into the USB port on the back of the Nord Stage 4 and the other end into your computer. When you do that, your computer's going to recognize as long as your Nord Stage 4 is on. Mine actually says synchronizing because I already have the Nord Sound Manager open. Let's jump over to the computer. I'm going to show you 2 ways to update your Stage 4. So the first and probably easiest way to update your Stage 4 is to have the Nord Sound Manager software. So this can be found on Nord's website. So if you go to nordkeyboards.com in your browser, go to software, and then you'll see Nord Sound Manager right here. If you click on that, you can just grab that, put it on your computer, and then you can perform the update right within the Nord Sound Manager. So the process here is plug your Nord into the computer with that USB cable, turn the Nord on, and it's going to check the version and tell you if there's an update. You can install that through the Sound Manager. You can also see the update history right here. I'm going to show you another way to do this. If you don't have the Nord Sound Manager, it's not really much harder, but the process is a little different. So we're going to come over to nordkeyboards.com again. We'll start at the very beginning here, nordkeyboards.com. Then we're going to come over to the Nord Stage 4 straight to the area where you can find the operating system update. This is going to give you that ability to go ahead and grab the updater for either Mac or Windows. And so in my case, I'm Windows, so I'd grab this one, and then we can see the update history here as well. So this is going to take you to the same place, whether you're in the Sound Manager or whether you're in the browser. And we can see all the past updates. So I'm on 1.30. There's 32, 34, 40, 42, 44, 46, 52, which is the one that we're going to focus on a bit today. and then 54, which fixed some bugs that were introduced in 52. All right, so in here, Nord lists out any fixes they've made, new functionality they've added, and I honestly am a little behind in this. I'm not going to read through all of it for the sake of time in this video, but go check that out. And you'll notice here, there's a couple of things, updates to the Vox organ model. They also added a couple of nice little things like list functionality for the analog waveforms, fixed some of the effects routing and things like that. And then of course, they introduced control option for the left and middle pedal of the triple pedal 2. They split out triple pedal 1 and triple pedal 2, I'm assuming because of this functionality. So when this is active, this is going to mirror the control pedal morph functionality on the middle or the left pedal. So we're going to check that out. So let's go ahead and grab this. I'm going to go back, grab the one for your operating system, and then that's going to come in as a zip or DMG if you're on Mac. So just come over and we want to extract that. So I have this here on my computer. I'm going to right click on that zip file and I'm going to do extract all. If you're on a Mac, go ahead and extract that however you would do it on a Mac. There's other programs out there like 7-Zip and things like that. So depending on what your computer has, extract that and you're going to see this update Nord Stage 4 OS 1.54.exe. Now these are cumulative updates. So I'm on 1.30. I don't have to update all the way through. 1.54 includes all of the past updates in there. One other note here is that this is not going to go ahead and erase all of your custom programs and things like that. Nord does a really good job with these updaters of updating the functionality and fixing bugs without resetting all of the programs and sounds like some other manufacturers do with their updates. So yeah, it might be a good idea to back it up just in case something catastrophic were to happen. But I'll be honest, I've never backed up my Nord before an update and I've always been fine over the years. But I'm going to double click on this exe file. And again, remember my Nord is plugged in USB. And it says unable to contact. The instrument appears to be in use by another application. Now this happens because we have the Nord Sound Manager open. So we've got to close that. I'm going to close this again and I'm going to open that up again and it's going to run that check. So you can't have the Nord Sound Manager open and do the update outside of that. You need to do one or the other. So again, I close that. My Nord is on, plugged in via USB, and you'll see it recognizes that my current OS is version 1.30. Click on the update button and then don't do anything on your Nord. It's going to go ahead and run its process on the Nord itself and it's going to update the Nord. So don't press buttons, don't turn the Nord off, just leave it be and it's going to go through and perform the update. You'll see some updates on the screen of the Nord as well, and it's going to kind of reflect what the computer screen is showing for the updater. It says waiting for the reboot to complete. Pretty quick little update there. I love, again, the way that Nord packages these updates. So much easier than trying to put it on a USB thumb drive and put it in there. I know a couple other manufacturers of keyboards that it's just kind of clunky and feels like you're not kind of doing something that a technical person should do. But with Nord, it's just the user interface is great there. It says update completed successfully. So we can click on the done button and close the updater. And now if we were to open that again, you'll see it recognizes your current OS is 1.54. So let's jump back over to the Nord. And so back over here, if we go Shift and number 1 for our system menu, and then we move over to OS, you'll see we're on 1.54. Amazing. Let's go check out the pedal menu. Hold Shift, pedal, which is the number 6 button. And then let's move over to page 4, triple pedal function. Now remember, our right pedal was continuous. And now when we do the middle pedal and the left pedal, they are also continuous, which is pretty cool. So now let's go ahead and try this out. So I'm going to come over to one of the programs that I built for my Essentials Worship Sound Pack. You can grab that. I'll put it link in the description below. Also check out my training course. I have an Essentials training course for the Nord Stage 4. Definitely worth checking out if you're trying to learn the functionality. I walk through all of the functions and the basics of this keyboard. And I am working on an advanced course where I dive really deep into the synth section, into the MIDI functionality. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out hopefully in the next couple of months. I am working on that now and really excited. I know that's something that a lot of you have been waiting on. So that is coming. stay tuned for that. So this sound right here, if you bring the synth in, you can do that with the modulation wheel. You can do that with a volume style expression pedal. Well, you can also do that with the left and the middle now. So in order to enable that, we need to go to our pedal menu. And then over here, you'll see my left is set to layer scene toggle. My middle is set to rotor toggle, and my right is sustain. Now, because of this continuous now, right? Let's change the layer scene toggle of the left pedal, and let's change that to control. So now what this is gonna do, I'll use my other foot here so I can still do sustain. And then notice as I bring this pedal down, it is bringing the volume in of my synth pad. Let's try this out. That is pretty slick. So I don't know, my personal opinion, for bringing things like a synth pad in. Oftentimes the way I'm using that is I'm playing, I'll bring it in and then I'll just let it sit there. Then I'll bring it a little more. So when you're tying it to the pedal, it's only there when you're holding it. When you let the pedal off, it goes back down. I think this is going to be perfect for things like the pump effect and some of these effects where you want to bring it in and then bring it out fairly quickly. But I love that that's been added to the Nord Stage 4 now, something that we've been waiting for a while. So thank you, Nord. Really appreciate that you guys added that in so the software and the hardware now are in line. So pretty exciting stuff. The other thing, again, on our waveform selector here. So if we hold shift and we scroll, now we get that list view on our waveform edit, and then a bunch of bug fixes and little things like that I'm not gonna go through every single one in detail, but check out the update history. That's gonna walk you through every change and every fix that's made. And I hope this video was helpful in helping you kind of give a refresh of updating your Nord, but also checking out that functionality for the triple pedal too. Really excited to be able to play around with that a little bit more now that we can have continuous control on all 4 of our pedals. It opens up the door to some additional possibilities in our sound design. So check that out if you have any questions with what I went over in this video, or you're interested in learning more about the Nord. I have got probably over 70 videos on my channel of the Nord Stage 4 plus my training course, and I've got 4 or 5 different sound packs on my website, DSoundman.com. Check those out. Thanks for watching. Stay inspired and keep making that music.